Hello, I'm Damien Tuga with ToeSalad.com, and I'm here with Ludo from OeTZI3300. Did I pronounce that right?
You got it.
All right.
OeTZI3300.
And so some of you readers probably know that we've reviewed some of their shoes on the blog, and one of the things that has come up is people wonder where the name came from, so I thought I would ask the founder of the company himself, what's with the name?
What's with the name? Okay, well, OeTZI is the oldest Homo sapien ever discovered. So, this is our logo over here, and you can see OeTZI. He was found in a glacier 3300 BC. So, OeTZI3300 is essentially the oldest Homo sapien ever discovered. He was found between the Italian Alps and Austrian Alps. By a couple of hikers walking by and stepping on top of this, body that was in the ice, in a glacier that was melting. And when they unveiled him, they realized that really he was, prehistoric, Homo sapien, prehistoric man.
Cool.
So that's how it all started. OeTZI3300 is a person.
Okay. And so how does that name reflect on your footwear?
Yeah, of course. As it turns out, because this guy OeTZI was in a glacier for so long, his clothing and his shoes were pretty much kept intact, mummified. So he has the oldest shoes intact ever found. And the way that his shoes were made, the way that the shoe was, the uppers were stitched to the soles, that the inside was stuffed with mosses for cushioning, and filled with dried grasses to keep the foot warm, is pretty much what we've done with our shoes. We've really kind of kept it, simplified the process of making shoes and stitching our uppers onto the soles. And
so you guys use no glue?
We use practically no glue. We need to use a little bit of glue just to tack the uppers onto the soles so that when they're stitching it doesn't slide and get all off-centric. But if you take the footbed out of our shoes, you'll see there is no insole board to glue to. It's stitched directly onto the soles. So yeah, definitely glue is a big no-no. It's a horrible, toxic element for people to work with, and it just smells your shoes out.
Cool. Okay. And the other thing that I thought was interesting when I was talking to you yesterday was that you were mentioning the logo here and the story, how that relates to the OeTZI3300.
Well, the other amazing thing about OeTZI is that he, when they took him out of the ice, they thawed him out, they took his clothes off, they discovered, his skin was really just intact. And what they found is all these markings, these tattoos on his knees, on his ankles, around this point over here, and his lower back. He had 52 tattoos. These tattoos, not only the oldest tattoos ever recorded, ever found on any human, were in fact, after studying the bones, they were areas where his bones had been damaged, maybe irritated, some kind of arthritis, and so they were beating hot sticks into his knees and legs and lower back to alleviate the pain. And these markings were in fact crosses and kind of vertical lines, and so we really, we took that whole symbol of who OeTZI is as a person, and translated it into our logo, by using the cross and that vertical line, which on our side we. One of the objectives of our brand is, once we start making a profit at some point in time, in the near future, one of the things that we're doing is we've established a foundation with the Arthritis Foundation. So we donate. We've started donating small amounts at the moment because we're not making enough to give too much. But it is like part of our giving back to the Arthritis Foundation for something that's started out 5,300 years ago,
right,
or 3300 BC.
So basically what you're saying is OeTZI, he had some biomechanical issues that he was trying to relieve with these banging these hot sticks, and so with your footwear, you're basically going as natural as possible because you believe that you can alleviate those problems with natural footwear. Is that correct?
That's exactly what it is. I told you yesterday what one of the things that happened to me is 2 years ago, just before starting OeTZI, I came out of came out of bed one morning and couldn't move. You know, my lower back, it was just, you know, I did something to it, and ended up doing MRIs and so on, and found that in fact, you know, I had a herniated disc, and you know, and apparently won the grand prize for having the worst herniated disc that, you know, these particular guys had ever seen. And you know, first thing they wanted to do was just to cut it up and fix it, you know. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, please, I don't want to chop anything up here. I want to try to fix it myself. You know, maybe there's a way that the body can fix this. And my cure was really just walking on the beach, you know, walking on right on the edge of where where the water splashes onto the sand, where you get that kind of nice, you know, firm, and yet your foot kind of compresses down into the sand. And really, that's just walking every morning on the sand is really what helped me sort of, I guess, build up that area and just alleviate the pain. You know, massaging.
This was barefoot, right?
This was barefoot, yeah. And so you know, hence the contour of the footbed that we've adopted into the shoes. You know, it really is just the footscape of the, you know, it is the footscape of our footscape of the foot. You know, just a very natural. It's the impression that was left behind in the sand.
And so some of our readers would probably say, hey, that's a pretty high heel. So tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's somewhat it's true, but somewhat of an illusion in that what happens is since it's cork, what happens is that you do get a compression that happens in the material, and you end up with a 1 to 2 millimeter heel rise by the time it compresses with your body weight. So you know, you basically, you know, it comes in the shoe. You wear it for a couple of weeks, or for a few days to a week, and you'll find that the material just compresses down and just takes the shape. It not only takes the shape of your arch and your foot, but it compresses down to being practically neutral. So you do get that very, you know, just the act of standing up straight rather than you know, having a heel height. And I mean, obviously, preaching to the choir over here. So yeah, that's how it all happened, you know.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend, and yeah, cheers.